Which one of these two stocks is the best one to buy now? Cloudflare or Crowdstrike? I'm going to answer that question in this video looking at 4 different metrics, starting with revenue growth. So let's get right into it. Of course, cybersecurity is going to be a growing industry for the next 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. The more time we're spending online, the more we shop online, the more of our data goes online, the more the importance of cybersecurity becomes. And so Cloudflare and CrowdStrike are both, in my opinion, going to experience solid revenue growth, but over the last 3 years, CrowdStrike has experienced better revenue growth than Cloudflare, even though they're both on a downward trend. They ended 52.84% for CrowdStrike and 41.89% for Cloudflare. In the near term, revenue growth may be challenging for these two cybersecurity stocks because enterprises are looking at their total operating budgets and they're trying to see where they can save some money right now because profit margins are getting pinched. And so these deals are getting more scrutinized. They're asking for more discounts. They're asking for more delays in terms of when they could pay. And so all of this is going to be a headwind. That's why you see some of this downward trending growth rate here. However, cybersecurity is more and more becoming a must have rather than a nice to have for businesses and institutions worldwide. So, even though you can delay spending on cybersecurity, you can't avoid spending on cybersecurity. And so, each of these companies experiencing very nice revenue growth. The next thing I wanted to look at is operating profit margin over the trailing 12 months. And what I noticed is that both of these companies are losing money on the bottom line. And additionally, what I found encouraging was that both of these companies are showing increases in getting closer to profitability. In other words, you look at CrowdStrike here, its operating profit margin was close to negative 60% in 2019. That has risen all the way to negative 7.48%. So it's getting ever closer to profitability as revenue is growing. I like to see that as an investor. I want to see companies making progress. If they're not profitable yet, I want to see them making progress towards profitability. And in that case, I'll be encouraged with the revenue growth. What I don't like to see is companies that are just growing revenue, and while they're growing revenue, their losses are worsening. That's what I don't like to see. And each of these companies, they're showing improvement. Cloudflare also going from negative 40% in operating profit margin to negative 20.63%. So CrowdStrike again showing better performance than Cloudflare. So 2 for 2 now for CrowdStrike. They're showing better revenue growth and they're showing better progress on operating profitability. The third metric I wanted to look at was cash flow from operations to sales. I want to see how good a company is at turning sales into cash flow. And even if it's negative, I'm looking at the same thing. I'm looking for improvement. And CrowdStrike showing very nice improvement here, going from negative, let's say 10% cash flow from operations to sales, all the way up to a robust 40% in cash flow from operations to sales. Cloudflare also showing impressive growth, growing from negative 14% all the way up to positive 12.67%, and that growth has persisted through 2021 and 2022, whereas CrowdStrike has kind of flatlined at 40%. Although 40% is quite impressive, it just hasn't grown from there, where Cloudflare is still growing, but it's still way behind, less than 1/3 the cash flow from operations to sales of CrowdStrike. So far, 3 out of the 3 metrics I've compared CrowdStrike to Cloudflare. CrowdStrike is meaningfully better than Cloudflare. So the final thing I'm going to look at is valuation. I'm going to look at how these stocks are priced. And so looking at the forward price to earnings ratio, Cloudflare is much more expensive than Crowdstrike, more than 6 times as expensive, in fact, trading at 371 forward PE to 59.52. And then looking at the forward price to sales, again, Cloudflare is more expensive at 14.9 compared to 9.5 for CrowdStrike. So, what I see from my point of view is CrowdStrike is performing much better than Cloudflare, and at the same time, the stock is significantly cheaper than Cloudflare. So I'm getting better performance at a cheaper valuation going with CrowdStrike. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. So for me, this is an easy decision to recommend that CrowdStrike is the best cybersecurity stock to buy in these two, right? Uh, the industry is going to grow overall, and so both of these companies will experience very nice growth. But if you're trying to pick just one of these two stocks to buy, I would recommend CrowdStrike. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed this one, I'm going to link to a couple more of my videos that I think you'll really enjoy. So please click on those, and I'll see you over there.